Abusuafo ne adɔfo mu nyina kwa wa biem Alpha One so ni hana about nsɛm de ekoso bia no yebesesa ne nyina bro ne asɔne so na edidi hia pa na bro sesa so nsaka bia no like ya share ama oni asɔre de enye bia ti no so keep you updated yes brain fe ne nchim ne enka de wo nchim sabre ne mo kase eke no free Atta ne nsɛm da so wo so no obi hwe update de akwa kwesi because eno na declare no wanted. The pastor so they declare no wanted that Tim said no so he does win pa boni ni pa kronfo tacho amwa a wo dwane and he declare no wanted. Na sabre kenofre Atta kasa wa break silence a chese enya asenketo nsem na oka no ebenya akonya etie a chese eya Afenyo mark ababo nten so about be exposing ye pa on the floor of parliament a chese enya asenketo enkrofo mo call ni fie mushishe police front ade suggest front ade ko ni fie no so no nipa osoma no omo ema no call you no omo so no say nipa na ba bontan we break silence actually the enti osoma no mede omo call na enye OSP na small nipa osoma no aba bontan ba be kasa a chese yakwenya ene yenya ebetie updated say yes be nkurenkuti na hwede
for his comment.
Mr. Speaker, the man Mahama Ayariga is making his name in the politics of our country, is exemplary and must be commended. Mr. Speaker, I have not slept on this matter. He was taken to the south, I was taken to the north gate in ensuring that this matter was resolved. Mr. Speaker, what he has done today reminds me of what Honorable Attorney General did in 2015. In 2015, as a practitioner, I was all over the place. I'm leading a mighty few. And Honorable Ayariga in ECOWAS Parliament is known as a sincere partner when it comes to resolving conflicts, and he's demonstrated it here. So, my respected leader, I want to assure you that our side would engage you constructively. Let's do the politics in a very decent way. Let's respect each other. Let's use words that are complementary. Hold those who are the lowest ebb up and bring them up. If somebody is making a mistake, you go to the person and say, "Look, you could do it better." If somebody does it well, compliment, let's celebrate each other. In the end, our principles will remain. I'm an MPP, proudly so. You are an NDC, proudly so. Don't let us use this platform to denigrate even our leaders. Sometimes the way we go after our leaders, the little said about it, the better. We use unprintable words. And let me caution all of us. The 2024 elections, check the percentage turnout. In Central, we didn't go beyond 60%. In Volta, around the same figures. In Ashanti, Upper East, Upper West, Greater Accra, the mighty Greater Accra, and they would go scot-free. If there is anything against any past government official, due process must be followed. And I'm sure all of us will have peace. My respected colleague, extend to His Excellency the President of the Republic the assurances of the minority that with this, we will also accord him every courtesy due him as President of the Republic. We would cooperate and oppose when we have to oppose. After all, our duty is to oppose you. And we can work together as a people to represent our people and for our people to learn from us and to teach us and to train us and to help us to advance this democracy. I want to conclude, Mr. Speaker, by saying that Mr. Ofori Atta, as at this morning, I had an extensive engagement with him. He's traumatized by the labeling of this adjective described to his person. But he still knows that his God is with him. He's undergoing some medical procedure. In fact, I had an early morning engagement with the Chief of Staff who confirmed that indeed Mr. Ofori Atta wrote to him and his receipt of the letter. He was very sincere in telling me that. So within reasonable time, I'm sure he would come. I will also engage the Office of the Special Prosecutor, engage constructively, assure him and his office that if there was any miscommunication, I, as a leader of my side, is assuring him that the man will make himself available. He left the country with permission. He would come, and if there is anything that has to be investigated, he will make himself available. It's not easy to serve your country, and I'm sure all shall be well for the good of us all. Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank once again the Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as you rightly indicated, yesterday, the Deputy Minority Whip sought leave of the Speaker and the indulgence of the House to raise a matter that he thought was of urgent public importance. Specifically, he raised two issues, one pertaining to some press conference of the Special Prosecutor at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Secondly, he drew attention to a joint police-military entry into the private residence of the former Minister of Finance, Honorable Ofori Atta. Mr. Speaker, the statement drew a lot of debate, following some commentary, and I promise this House that I will carry out some investigation to try and appreciate the circumstances surrounding the joint police and military entry into the private residence of the former Minister of Finance. In making this statement today, let me indicate that as a country and as a parliament, we have a constitution to uphold. That constitution has embedded in it fundamental human rights, including the right to one's privacy, the right to the integrity of one's property, and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama remains committed to ensure that the rights and liberties of every individual is respected or are respected. Mr. Speaker, secondly, I make this statement on the basis of the commitment of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to reset this country, which means that everybody must act in compliance with the law and the mandate of institutions. And so I have stakeholders in the matter to find out exactly what happened. So, Speaker, it is true that the private residence of the former Minister of Finance was entered into by operatives of the military and the police led by the somebody who we believe works at the National Security Coordinator's Office. Mr. Speaker, his name is Mr. Jakwa. Mr. Speaker, we have investigated the matter, and we want to say and assure our fellow countrymen and our colleagues in this House that we have received assurances from the Office of the National Security Coordinator that it was not intended that that should happen, and that occurrence is most regrettable and unfortunate, and he wants to give this House his word and assurance that a thing like that should never happen again. Mr. Speaker, I have also spoken with the Minister of Interior, who has spoken with his IGP, and I've spoken with the Minister of Defense, and all of them give their assurance to this House that a thing like that will not happen again. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me indicate to my colleagues on the other side that this side of the House remain committed to ensuring that this country is reset, that its institutions function properly, that its officials act in accordance with the law, and that the rights and liberties of every citizen are upheld and protected under the regime of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I personally extend my apologies to the former Minister of Finance, and I believe that this should suffice. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader.
Abusiafo niyama ekoso na John Dramani Mahama na memo accountability eya di kan no eno na ama NPP4 da omonda na NPP4 esori a ti omutinti mu nyina ne se Mahama tata omo Mahama amomo ho hyehye omo because Mahama no munim no eye 2012 2016 no asesa ono John Dramani Mahama can say na memo no bebu no ye tin chenim so ya de pa na papa ya wa ya de say no anga ba bonti aka say o make a lot of mistakes o ye mistakes bebre na osua ne lessons so no tim say no wa ba pa inti John Mahama ya NPP4 nim no so oya boko onkasa on the father for all ono de want me nye hwe no ene sa John Mahama na omunim no omo so wasesa omo say Mahama a join Ghanaians Mahama ye nema Ghana for pay because the motto ne say resetting so de eno eya de Kesi pa o say Ghana ye independence ni nyina besi sabre o say wo be reset Ghana eya de Kesi pa. That means errors tally Ghana ho all because of politics intino ama Ghana just time enya akono bi into to get a president also by reset Ghana no enya adeketua no we are also building the Ghana that we want. That means for the past years no president ahodo abani nyina no Ghana na ya mo hwe so no mubu no enya ade a Ghana for pe omo ya ade e mo party na ya popular omo ya ade e mo family and friends enya de enwo ato mo enye so mo ya ade aso Ghana for ye nyina ani Now so Mahama so already set his agenda no. No, I build the Ghana that we the Ghanaians we want. Or found so MPP ni we NDC ni. So far as I will take Ghana kwadi when be jina memu no because the panel and obabe. Na the kind accountability or kind of be ne be modern say a political talk. Wa sha ase ye no amanfo den. Ho papa mu ye pa 24 hours economy no cramp won sha ase o e no muntimentina no accountability na the kind na wo ye no e no na mada da kromuntimenda. So after speaking on OSP ye na adwuma senka oni kenofri Atta betena se abobo niama bone criminalities ahodo a esono no na nka wa maye hu no kra bi e wo no kenofri Atta eye toto no twene se wo watu kwan na wonim da obeba indefinitely. Also yes criminal cases go so minim da mehia o then episode here and ne ababo ntin say sa asem na OSP de to no so no amana traumatized amani credibility aba from amani yem kura hyehyɛ no ama kyese enyama bebre na ekoso na adwim obre because of wanted any fugitive na de to no so ntino amana bra boy basa na nke wosenke OSP ehwe hu se ko yale konfa na ntu kura se ko yale na so afa na ni anto ababontin abediclare se oye wanted obi o yare na wasa declare wanted no kenofri Atta na echeche ni nsemu ya sa no no na Afenyo marking arches oni ni di nkomo phone so no ababontin abecheche nsemu nyina aba akira me hu se kenofri Atta wa agent so ombra no be face the law because nima bibro aye wo so be clear no say am pa fine am pa so ani hu ba bia ye den ye di asan be ebefa since obetin also yare na say yes I declare wanted say nya de pa say wasa be exposing publicly on the floor of parliament here the ihun sem no after that no so no a majority leader Mahama Yarega akire enkrofo a omukọ kenofri Atta fia no mhyehyɛ uniforms say komukọ penalty no so mko hedin o ni pa osma mo no say ejapa say oye adwuma o national security and osma mo ana sabi no oni o matnas with IGP and the national securities when nyina says ha ni mana mo ye no ensempata we are under democratic government so you can some invade into someone privacy because in the law amatumra just one no matnas ya ka just no man yesade ni bi and so yesterday and crofo so mugina emrani mu etoto ma no de omunja omotidi accountability must come. All the corrupt leaders must go. Mahama government must succeed. And as a man, born air to watch TV. Subscribe, nation, and money. I said, any bintin on soon, there could be a